I haven't had the opportunity to travel much in my life, so when Luke approached me with the idea of completing an externship in Ireland, I thought of all the reasons why it wasn't going to work. That being said, I decided to take the leap and say, why not? So through global programs, Luke and I were able to hit the Emerald Isle and extern for 2 weeks with the Dublin Zoo. We started day one with a 3.5-hour drive across the country to perform a whale necropsy. Beaked whales had been stranding across the coasts of Northern Europe, including Ireland, Scotland, and the Netherlands. Whether it was the current president of the United States, the Irish government, or the Guardian, there was lots of speculation as to why they were stranding. We took samples, including the whale's entire head, back to UCD for analysis. In the process, we met local residents who invited us into their home and a quick swim in their bay. We shared a meal and discussed Ireland's green energy initiative and the impacts on the local wildlife. Luke and I also had the amazing opportunity of visiting a convent and treating their animal residents. The nuns were very curious why 2 young American men were so far off the beaten path and willing to help them. They showed us their appreciation with hot tea and a meal. At the zoo itself, we treated multiple residents, like an elephant with diarrhea, an orangutan with an infected finger, and a flamingo with a leg wound and lots of maggots. What I could not have anticipated was being part of the world's first hippo cataract removal. The Dublin Zoo brought in a French ophthalmologist, a French anesthesiologist, UCD's anesthesiologist, and a resident. Luke and I were chosen to be a part of the surgery team, in which it was my responsibility to keep the eye lubricated during the phacoemulsification process. We were also afforded the opportunity to spend time in research labs at UCD and get a tour of the small animal hospital as well as the large animal hospital. It was a running joke that I was very clearly American by the way I dressed, and even more obvious when I spoke. It was fun comparing and contrasting TB testing methods, how to become a registered veterinary technician, and even how to become a vet student between the 2 countries. We were very comfortable with the hospital when it came time to run a CT on one of the tortoises from the zoo. The clinical experience was amazing, but my personal growth went far beyond that. Once my externship came to an end, my best friend since childhood at age 7 came to visit. We flew to Glasgow for a day to explore the coast of Scotland. I wanted to see my ancestral castle, from which my last name comes from, and the lands that my family grew up on prior to coming to the United States. We then decided to road trip across the entire country of Ireland, including walking across the cliffs of Moher. We met fellow travelers from other countries as well as locals, and we discussed cultural differences, current and past political struggles, and the beauty of Ireland and everything it had to offer. I left this global program's experience with a deeper understanding of clinical medicine, as well as a much richer and deeper understanding of Irish history, tradition, and current events. Growing up, a life experience like this never seemed possible.